Oh boy. It's time for the greatest mistake of my life. And, better yet, we are on a new... Not... I guess we're... Oh. Okay. Oh, wrong one. Alright, we're on a newer version of Minecraft. Why am I hungry? Anyways. Gotta go to spawn 1, of course. Whoa. 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 Wow. Okay, there's a lot more people on, I think. Which is fine. But I'm very scared of turning on my microphone. Or headphones. Voice chat. But I will allow it. Let's see.
Yo, guys.
Okay, it's not that bad. Alright, I'm gonna find a spot here.
Do you have anything better?
Picks.
Men du kan pule.
Doesn't seem too bad.
Wait, stop this.
Never mind, that seems pretty bad. Okay.
Shit, we don't know.
I want you to be mine.
Yeah, this is about what I expected for midday.
Wait, just Melon, I got a question.
Come on, let me get up here.
Like 10K or something, 20K, I don't know.
Is it even possible?
Come. Okay, yo, how many? Back up, bro. Back up. Get away.
Okay, this is crazy, but I think I might need to... No, I don't think this is working. Alright. Nope, wrong one. Okay, let's just go back. How many people are here? 170.
Selling mice.
Alright, I think this is...
Give me some free money. I'm so poor. I need to
I
buy
think
some
this is
clothes
fine.
and stuff.
It's good enough.
Please, I'm just a
Okay.
bitty baby.
Open up that bad boy. Ooh, I got 1,000 upvotes on my comment on fucking map porn circle jerk. Okay, that's great. Anyways. Browser.
Dr. Donut.
Dr. Kakanon.
Yo.
Chapter 10. How long is this chapter?
How long is this chapter been?
Only 4 pages. Okay. Alright. Wait, is that for 1, 2, 3? About 4 pages is fine.
What?
Returning to the Spouter Inn from the chapel, I found Queequeg there quite alone. He having left the chapel before the benediction sometime. He was sitting on a bench before the fire, with his feet on the stove hearth, and on one hand he was holding close up to his face that little idol of his, peering hard into its face, and with a jackknife gently whittling away at its nose, meanwhile humming to himself in his heathenish way. This guy's so judgmental.
Bonnie.
But being now interrupted, he put up the image, and pretty soon, going to the table, took up a large book there, and placing it on his lap, began counting the pages with deliberate regularity. At every
Howdy.
15... What? Oh, hey, what's up?
Howdy.
What?
What are you reading there?
I'm reading Moby Dick.
Hey,
Science Kelly is 1 mil who wants to.
I know my
Okay.
lifestyle is time.
I'll listen.
You crazy.
Every 15th page,
I
as I
can't
fancied
possibly
stopping a
without
moment,
you.
looking vacantly around him and giving utterance to a long-drawn gurgle whistle of
Are you
astonishment.
reading?
What the fuck? What? Yeah, I'm reading Moby Dick. He
Oh.
would then begin at the next 50, seeming
Sorry.
to commence a number 1 each
Let's
time,
get it
as though he
on.
could not count more than 50. It was only by such a large number of 50s being found together that his astonishment at the multitude of pages was exciting. With much interest I sat watching him, savage though he was, and hideously marred about the face. At least to my taste, his countenance yet had a something in it which was by no means disagreeable. You cannot hide the soul. Through all his unearthly tattooings, I thought I saw the traces of a simple, honest heart, and in his large, deep eyes, fiery black and bold, there seemed tokens of a spirit that would dare 1,000 devils. And beside all this, there was a certain lofty bearing about the pagan, which I walked off the thing. God damn it.
I have one.
There was a certain lofty bearing about the pagan, which even his uncouthness could not altogether maim. He looked like a man who had never cringed and never had a creator. When, whether it was too that his head being shaved, his forehead was drawn out in freer and bright relief, and looked more expansive than it otherwise would. This I will not venture to decide. But beneath it, but certain it was his head was phrenologically an excellent one. It may seem ridiculous, but it reminded me of General Washington's head, as seen in the popular busts of him. It had the same long, regularly graded, retreating slope from above the brows, which were likewise very projecting, like two long promontories, thickly wooded on top. Queequeg was George Washington, cannibalistically developed. Alright, pal. Whilst I was thus closely scanning him, half pretending, meanwhile, to be looking out at the storm from the casement, he never heeded my presence, never troubled himself with so much as a single glance. What?
You want a haircut?
What?
You want a haircut?
No.
Then why are you reading Moby Dick again?
Because I fucking want to? What?
You're not Latin. What do you think this is?
I'm interested.
I've never read Moby Dick before, so, alright. He never heeded my presence, never troubled himself with so much as a single glance, but appeared wholly occupied with counting the pages of the marvelous book. Considering how sociably we had been sleeping together the night previous, of course. And especially considering the affectionate arm I had found thrown over me upon waking in the morning. How very quick, how very gay. I thought this indifference of his very strange. What? What? I can't hear you. But savages are strange beings. At times you do not know exactly how to take them. You're using very interesting language there, Melville Herman. At first they are overawing, whatever that word is. Their calm self-collectedness of simplicity seems a Socratic wisdom. I had noticed also that Queequeg never consorted at all, or but very little, with the other seamen in the inn. He had no advances whatsoever, appeared to have no desire to enlarge the circle of his acquaintances. All this struck me as mighty singular. Here was a man some 20,000 miles from home, by the way of Cape Horn, that is, which was the only way he could get there. Oh yeah, because they didn't have the Suez yet. Thrown among people as strange to him as though he were in the planet Jupiter. You don't know what Jupiter is, shut up. And yet he seemed entirely at his ease, preserving the utmost serenity. content with his own companionship, always equal to himself. Surely this was a touch of fine philosophy, though no doubt he had never heard there was such a thing as that. But perhaps, to be true philosophers, we mortals should not be conscious of so living or so striving. So soon as I hear that such a man gives himself out for a philosopher, I concluded that, like the dyspeptic old woman, he must have, quote, broken his digester. What are you talking about? As I sat there in that now lonely room, the fire burning low, and that mild stage wind, after its first intensity, has warmed the air, it then only grows to be looked at, the evening shades and phantoms gathering round the casements, and peering in upon a silent, solitary twain, the storm booming without solemn swells. I began to be sensible of strange feelings. I felt a melting in me. No more my splintered heart and maddened hand were turned against the wolfish world. Is that you? No, that's not you. I'm just gonna mute you. It's so easy to get these people to go away. Just FEDRO. FED. There, and now you're muted. It's that easy. Anyways. UV shades, phantoms around the statements. Oh, wait, no, I haven't gotten there yet. Haven't I? I don't know. I muted you, by the way, Fedron, because you were way too loud. I'm so sorry, but, you know. Anyways, as I sat there in that now lonely room, the fire burning low, and that mild stage wind, after its first intensity, has warmed the air. It then only glows to be looked at. The evening shades and phantoms gathering round the casements, and peering in upon us silently, solitary twain, the storm booming without in solemn swells. I began to be sensible of strange feelings, felt a melting in me. No more my splintered heart and maddened hand were turned against the wolfish world. This soothing savage had redeemed it. There he sat, his very indifference speaking of nature, which then lurked no civilized hypocrisies and bland deceits. Wild he was, a very sight of sights to see. Yet I began to feel myself mysteriously drawn to him. And those same things that could have repelled most others, they were the very magnets that thus drew me. I'll try a pagan friend. Though I, since Christian kindness has proved but hollow courtesy. Yeah, of course.
Moby Johnson, bro.
Yeah.
Okay, bro.
Fucking Ishmael is extremely gay, and he does not seem to think that he is.
Okay, bro.
I drew my bench near him and made some friendly signs and hints. Oh, he's literally dropping hints. Doing my best to talk with him meanwhile. At first, he little noticed these advances, but presently, upon my referring to his last night's hospitalities, he made out to ask me whether we were again to be bedfellows. I told him yes, whereat I thought he looked pleased, perhaps a little complimented. We then... Hold on. What? Yeah, I'm just sitting up. Oh, excuse me. Oh, pardon me. That's very ungentlemanly. We then turned over the book together, and I endeavored to explain to him the purpose of the printing, and then the meaning of the new pictures that were in it. Thus I soon engaged his interest, and from that we went to jabbering the best we could about the various outer sights to be seen in this famous town. Soon I proposed a social smoke, and, producing his pouch and tomahawk, quietly offered me a puff. And there we sat exchanging puffs from that wild pipe of his, and keeping it regularly passing between us. I then yet lurked any ice of indifference towards me in the pagan's breast. This pleasant, genial smoke we had soon thawed it out, and left us cronies. What? He seemed to take to me as naturally and unbiddenly as I to him, and when our smoke was over, he pressed his forehead against mine, clasped me around the waist, and said that henceforth we were married, meaning in his country's phrase that we were bosom friends. He would gladly die for me, if need should be. In a countryman, the sudden flame of friendship would have seemed far too premature, a thing to be much distrusted. But in this simple savage, those old rules would not apply. This guy's so fucking dumb. After supper and another social chat and smoke, we went to our room together. He made me a present of his embalmed head, took out his enormous tobacco wallet, and groping under the tobacco,
much of it.
drew out some $30 in silver, then spreading them on the table
I'm just
and
chilling.
mechanically dividing them into 2 equal portions, pushed one of them towards me and said it was mine. I was going to remonstrate,
Okay.
but he silenced me by pouring them into my trousers pockets. I let them stay. He then went about his evening prayers, took out his idol, and removed the paper fireboard. By certain signs and symptoms, I thought he seemed anxious for me to join him. But well knowing what was to follow, I deliberated a moment whether, in case he invited me, I would comply or otherwise. I was a good Christian, born and bred in the bosom of the infallible Presbyterian Church. How then could I unite with this wild idolater in worshipping his piece of wood? But what is worship, thought I? But what is worship? To do the will of God, that is worship. And what is the will of God? To do to my fellow man what I would have my fellow man to do to me. That is the will of God. Now Queequeg is my fellow man, and what do I wish that this Queequeg would do to me? Why, unite with me in my particular Presbyterian form of worship. Consequently, I must then unite with him in his. Ergo, I must turn idolater. So I kindled the shavings, helped prop up the innocent little idol, offered him burnt biscuit with Queequeg, salaamed before him twice or thrice, kissed his nose, and that done, we undressed and went to bed.
Can you go to the base and then
I don't know how to
I'm gonna
even.
TP request you.
Okay, at peace with our own consciousness and all the world, but we did not go to sleep without some little chat.
Alright?
Pillow talk, I see. How it is, I know not, but there is no place like a bed for confidential disclosures between friends. Man and wife, they say, there open the very bottom of their souls to each other, and some old couples often lie and chat over old times till morning. Thus, then, lay I and Queequeg, a cozy, loving pair. Alright, that's the end of chapter 10. I don't know how to... I don't even... Yeah, chapter 11. Let me just get my little expo marker out and cross out another day. That is 5 days. Alright.
Alright, so we have to find a new one and make it.
I'm watching this instead of studying for my exam tomorrow. What's up, monster? How you doing? Yeepers, jeepers, creepers.
Bro, do you have a base you want to team up with us?
Alright. Now that's the end of that chapter of the book. Is what it is. Which means that I am free. I've been in this VC forever and nobody has joined it, so I'm actually gonna leave it and go to a different one. Let's see. I'll keep streaming because I don't care. Let's see. I could go to a VC in Marshmallow. In fact, I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go to VC 4 because why not? I think I did the Wordle already, so I don't need to do the Wordle. If anyone... Oh, right. That's a different server. Okay. So it might have W's. Sweet. Yeesh, I caramba, am I right? Yeah? That costs money. You wanna go dash for money and then go to Arby's?
Oh yes, yes. Go to Arby's.
Fucking Arby's. Okay, my mom came into my room and started saying, "Rio, I want Arby's." This is like that scene in Rick and Morty when Rick is like sitting on the couch and he's like, I want Wendy's bacon burger. Where's bacon burger, Morty? And then Morty goes to the Wendy's in another dimension real quick and gets him a burger that was just left on the counter. And he holds it up. Rick holds it up and looks like it's like, oh no, and then passes out on the couch. Yug. Yug. All right, mother. Fine. That's the end of the stream. That's the end of the stream. I thought we were gonna go dashing at 3, but it looks like we're gonna go dashing at 1.